Okay, so for starters here, I just used to really love this movie, and I think I figured out why. I actually went and seen it in the theater. Um, it came out. That's my 18th birthday when it came out. So I know I went and watched it in the theater. I'm wondering if I went and watched it on my birthday, but this movie just always has stuck in my mind, and I just wanted to point that out. I guess. Also, you have Harvey Keitel plays the character of Satan, and he also uh, I made a video about Donnie Darko and the movie The Last Temptation of Christ, and with Willem Dafoe and the 59s and the X's and all of that. But this guy, he played in that movie, and he played as Judas in that movie here. He also plays Frankie in this movie. There were some other movies that he had a significant character name. I can't even remember, but I just wanted to point that out that he was Judas in that movie that I had talked about a while back that had to deal with Donnie Darko, and then he's Satan in this movie. Okay. Also, right in the very beginning, the main theme song is "The School of Hard Knocks" by the band POD, and I just remember them because their album called Satellite came out on September 11th, 2001, and so that just stuck out to me right away when I heard the theme song. But that the song actually was like a single. It's not on one of their albums. But what's funny to me is that this band, they claim to be a Christian metal band, and it talks about it somewhere on their actual page here. Um, but yeah, like look at this album here, that the album that came out before Little Nicky. I mean, it's got like the guy sitting here doing some type of new age thing. I don't know. I just think that's kind of strange. And then they claim to be Christian, but yet they have like a new age looking cover. But what I wanted to show you is the Satellite album here. Look at so it came out September 11th, 2001. Look at some of the track names here. You got Alive, Boom, Here Comes the Boom, right? The Youth of the Nation, Masterpiece, Conspiracy. I don't know. I just found that kind of strange. They also have been a band since 1992, which is 22 years ago. So I'll see if Little Nicky has a bunch of twos in it or something. But just pointing that out. And yes, I know that 1992, I mean, I'm watching this now and doing it. So yeah, in a year it will change. It will be 23 years. But I'm not. For some reason, everything I find always ends up matching up to what I'm looking for, like without even trying to find it. And that's what I'm saying. Little Nicky actually came out, and I think the year 2000, which would be 8 years after they were formed too. So anyway, so the whole point of the movie is that Satan says that he tells his sons that he's going to rule hell again for the next 10,000 years. So two of his sons get mad and they go to Earth, and then it like starts deteriorating his body. If they don't come back at the same time, then it's going to kill him basically. And so he sends his other son, Little Nicky, to Earth to get him in this flask that he gives him, and then Nicky has to bring him back, but he's like the weakest son. But anyway, I mean, that kind of sounds like the movie Constantine too, where in the movie Constantine, the devil's son wants to rule Earth or whatever, so he goes behind his dad's back, and he does this plan with the angel Gabriel, and he at the very end, you just got to watch the movie. It tricks him or whatever, and he doesn't actually get to do it. But it's the same kind of concept, and they came out around the same time. That's just kind of strange. And like that same kind of concept has to do with, like if Obama is represented by the Lion King, and James Earl Jones was the king of the beasts, and then he was the dad of Eddie Murphy in that other movie, and he was the owner of the Beast and the Sandlot. I don't know. It's the same kind of concept. That's what I'm going with this anyway. So then Nicky goes to Earth right away, and he comes into the train station, and he gets hit by a train, and then goes back to hell. So every time he dies, he goes back to hell or whatever. But he gets hit by the K train. I know there's more K's in this movie, but K is, what is it? The 11th letter of the alphabet. Um, here's a K again. The Kmart. He goes to Kmart to get clothes, and they also go to Popeyes Chicken. It looks like Kmart actually it wasn't called Kmart forever. They renamed it and called it Kmart Corporation in 1977, and the company was founded in 1962. The chain, but then they must have renamed it to Kmart. But 1962 is 26 years, and it's also 26 backwards from 1988. Then little Nicky's brothers get in these bodies and they go into the church and they try to manipulate the people. And he says, the Lord said a lot of hibbity jibbity, but has he really done anything for you? Has he put a Jaguar XJR in your front yard? So I looked up that car, and it says that this car was actually starting in 1983. The project was started by an American team called Group 44 Racing. And you got your 4 and then your 44 here that they show you in these pictures. Kevin Harvick just won NASCAR, and he was the number 4, and he was in 4th place going into the final race. I just find that interesting. So then Nicky goes around the town trying to find his brothers to get in the flask, and he just walks up to people and says, "Get in the flask." And he goes to Popeye's Chicken, and the guy at Popeyes says, "What are you talking about, man?" And he says, "I'm talking about an 8-piece. Let's go." So you got your 8 in there. When he first meets his girlfriend, they get ice cream, and they're walking by, and there's one of the buildings right here says 1937, which is 77 years ago. This next part right here, he's trying to figure out how to release his evil, and he changes this Coke into a Pepsi. The inventor of Coca-Cola died on August 16th. So you got your 2/8, 8th month. You got 888 of 1888. And then down here it talks about his death, and they have the Freemason symbol on his grave, and it says that he had pride in being a Freemason, so they put the symbols on his grave. This guy was the guy who invented Pepsi, and he died age 66. Pepsi was originally called Brad's Drink, but on August 28th, 1898, it was renamed Pepsi Cola. That is 116 years ago, or 11/6, which is a 66. Right here you see a poster of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. It's a 1963 movie, so you got 3 6s. It's 119 minutes long. You got your 9/11. And Alfred Hitchcock just directed and produced the movie. The film was written by Evan Hunter, who, of course, was born on October 15th, 1926, and he died on 6/6/2005. So he would have been 88 years old this year, but he died on 6/6 of 2005. The other poster on the wall is for the movie called Blow Up. Blow Up was a 1966 film, and the people who star in it here, you got David Hemmings, born on November 18th, so you got your 1118 of 1941, which is 73 years ago. And the other star was Vanessa Redgrave, and she was born in 1937, and she is 77 years old. All right, and right here, right before Nicky dunks the ball on his brother Cassius, the shot clock has the numbers here, and 88888. I don't know what it is about digital clocks, but like the base of all the numbers is an 8. But just pointing out the 8s. Right here, Nicky spins the record backward of Chicago. I'm not quite sure what song he plays or what album it's on, but Chicago is on the 88th Meridian West, and also Chicago is a play written in 1926 by Maureen Dallas Watkins, and she was 73 years old when she died, and she died on August 10th, which is the 222nd day of the year. And right here you have an H as the lamp stand. It's also at 44 minutes 44 seconds, and it looks like there's an 8 on this pillow right here. I guess I'm not really sure what the design is, but it looks like an 8s on this pillow. Then right here he goes to apologize to his girlfriend, Valerie Vram, and I talked about that in other videos, Adam Sandler movies with the double V names, and then V is 22. So Valerie Vram would be 44, or Valerie Varan would be 44, but you got Vicky Valancourt and Virginia Vinet and Veronica Vaughn. But beside the point, he's apologizing to her, and he talks about the butterflies in his stomach, and they do this more than once in the movie, and he says, you know, remember the butterflies, the butterflies. So Nicky needs to go back to hell to ask his dad what to do or whatever, and his roommate decides to kill him so he can go to hell. And he says, damn you, Kevin Spacey, you took all my parts. So I looked up Kevin Spacey, and he was born in 1959, and he is 55 years old. Just find that interesting, considering I have been talking about the 59s and the 55s a whole bunch in the last month. And you also have the checkered board bathtub. Then they go back to the train station, and Nicky dies and gets hit by the train, and his brother goes to hell, but he goes to heaven because he saved his girlfriend's life. And he finds out that Reese Witherspoon is his mom, and she's actually an angel, so he's half angel, half spawn of Satan. But Reese Witherspoon, I just looked her up, she was born on 3/22. Then in heaven they do a little Chubbs from Happy Gilmore cameo, and the guy who plays Chubbs is 66 years old this year. He also plays Apollo Creed and Rocky, and you got Apollo is like the god of light. So then little Nicky's brother Adrian is going to be the new devil, and he goes back to like Central Park here, and he tells the whole crowd that there is a hell and they're all going to go there, and they're all going to die in 15 minutes when he becomes Satan, and everybody starts running. Now look at this crowd though. There's one jersey in the whole crowd that I can see, and I don't know what jersey it is, but it's an 8. Why 8? Out of all these people, there's one jersey you can make out, and it's an 8. So then Adrian brings out Henry Winkler, and he covers him in bees, and bees have been significant. I'm not even going to explain it. So then Nicky has to go back to stop his brother, and he tells his mom, the Big Apple better get ready because I'm going to rock that town like a hurricane. And that's obviously the song by the Scorpions, and there's some other stuff. I'm just going to make another video about it, about the Scorpions. But and anyway, so I don't know if that's like a subliminal of Hurricane Sandy or what, you know, because a hurricane, you never hear about a hurricane hitting the Big Apple, and he says he's going to rock the town like a hurricane. And right when he gets back to Earth, demons start chasing him, and he releases the good, and then butterflies start flying, and they get mesmerized by them. Then he releases bunnies, and I'm not going to explain the significance of that. Then Nicky gets sucked into the flask here, and his brother turns into a bat and is flying around, and Nicky comes out because she says, do it for the butterflies. And then he comes out because he did it for the butterflies. Then Nicky uses his gift from his mom, or from God, and it makes Ozzy, and Ozzy bites the head off his brother and spits it into the flask, and then they have to get back to hell. So Nicky does something bad, and he covers Henry Winkler in bees so he can go to hell and save his dad. Throughout the movie, Nicky dies 7 times. So then he goes to hell the last time, and his dad tells him that I'm going to rule down here, your mom's got up there, and you rule the earth. That means that he returned for the 8th time. So he returns to Earth the 8th time, or on the 8th time. So like I don't know if that's like symbolic of like the 8th king in Revelation. So anyway, the theme is that Satan's son is coming to rule the earth. Anyway. Have a great night.